Welcome back to Road to Hallowed Sepulchre, where I apparently just really phoned in the whole thing, didn't I? I'm doing the Myarchy questline without a guide to get a better agility training method. The first 2 episodes, great. In-game music, talked throughout the whole thing, and then there was last episode, and then this one. This one has no game audio. What little commentary there is was tainted by me watching What We Do in the Shadows without headphones in the background. So, I guess it's a taste of hope, abridged riff tracks edition, because I have not a lot of anything to work with in here. So, Viliaf kind of waves us off, tells us the best option is more knowledge. Looking at the quest log, I skip over to Theater of Blood to start the quest. Talking to Garth, he tells me about the Theater, a castle where vampires come to watch human citizens fight for freedom. Specifically, about one person who supposedly won the gauntlet, Seraphina. Problem is, he doesn't know what happened to her. We're cut off when we see Rannister Khan and Vedstrom Klaus go inside the theater. So I hop over to Sophalon and Vertida, and they tell me I should try and spy on what could be a meeting between the 2 vamps and Lady Verzik, the noble in charge of the theater. And that there are some mercenaries from Roald going to the theater we should talk to. Talking to them, they say we might be able to watch through some of the windows, and that the walls are crumbling and there's probably a way up. I give some gold to a guy to distract a vamp, and up I go. And you believe this creature will be suitable? I have no doubt that it will adequately meet your requirements.
Perhaps, but I still believe the Firewatch can handle this.
We've given your Firewatch more than enough opportunities, and yet the Myarchy still elude us. It's time for another strategy. The creature before you has advantages over a Vire. It is the perfect hunter. Once it gets a taste of its foe's blood, it can track them anywhere. We'd still need the blood, though.
I may have a solution to that, if this is indeed the route we're taking. There is also the question of your sister. She specifically requested that Sophalon and that outsider be left to her.
Now is not the time for her games. We can't afford to let the enemy slip through our fingers again. Anyway, you worry about the Myarchy. I'll handle Venescula. Venstrom?
Very well. I will make preparations immediately. The sooner we deal with the Myarchy, the better. Even our kind have weaknesses, and if Seraphina could discover them, the Myarchy can as well.
Then I think we're done here. Thank you for your time, Verzik. And thank you, Rannis. You're always welcome here. So I go back again to talk to Sophalon. He reassures us that they don't have a good way of getting their blood to use for their tracking method, so we should help Flagian with the Hemalcapy book. He knows there's something, but isn't quite getting it. Talking to Sophalon again, we decide to look for Seraphina's home to see if there's any trace of how she beat the Theater of Blood and escaped. Then, we're treated with a puzzle that can be solved with everything in the room. Truly some modern game design that they would ignore in later quests. This is interrupting editing me, because I kind of wanted to talk about this a little bit more. RuneScape puzzles are largely divided into the things where they give you what you need for a puzzle or they don't. And the problem I have when they don't have locked room puzzles like this, immersive sim games can get away with not giving you the exact materials that you need, because there are multiple solutions for it. But But in RuneScape, there's only ever one solution to a puzzle. So when you run back to your bank to get what you need to solve the puzzle, you're largely faced with a couple hundred items that could help you in whatever situation you're in. Obviously, that gets narrowed down a lot for a lot of puzzles, but, like, I feel like you can see it a lot in Viliaf bringing up a mold in casual conversation and the connection you're supposed to make there. It's because you're never sure what will or won't work. So when you come to a possible solution for a puzzle, you try it and you fail, but it doesn't give you any feedback and you don't get any hints when you ask any of the related NPCs, then you're kind of just stuck looking at a screen, not being sure what to do. Part of why I used guides for most of RuneScape is because the specific way that they set up a puzzle just doesn't click with me. Like, the way my brain works does not solve the way Jagex makes puzzles. Now, obviously, part of this is who's involved in a quest, but looking up which developer is involved with every quest before I decide whether I want to use a quest guide is a bit more involved than it really needs to be. So, really, I'm kind of just happy using a quest guide for most things in RuneScape. This and the next quest excluded. Anyways, on our return, we're greeted with an ominous warning about dying in the hideout. Ignoring it, we go inside, have a chat with our allies, grouped in our hideout the vampires could never possibly find. But, in a twist I didn't see coming... Oh no, I don't understand. What is it, Flagian? I'm looking through notes, but there's nothing here. What do you mean, nothing? What? A load of rubbish. Why would Seraphine have written this? Lovely. Oh no. What was it that Verzik said about this creature Vanstrom is using? It has a taste of their blood. We used our blood to open the door. Vanstrom, he used me as bait. Bertita, get the others. We need to leave now. No! Oh, fuck. Mercredis! No! Hail Forshaw, no! Time to die, beast. No! Flagian, look out! No, Flagian! What's happening, Salfalon? It's weakened. Let's finish it off. After retreating to an old hideout that is much easier to access, Salfalon reveals he has always had this strange power, but didn't know how to control it, and still doesn't. We also happen to have the last of Flagian's notes, which detail a possible new vampiric weapon. A flail that, due to its random nature of attacking, will counter the vampiric ability to read our mind enough to dodge the attack we're thinking of. So, we retrieve the Rod of Avandis from Viliaf, and then turn it into a nifty little flail. With that complete, we return to Salfalon to show it off. And he tells us that Ranas Drakan, confident that the Myarchy are defeated, has invited the citizens to make that announcement in the Theater of Blood. And what better stage for our new weapon than the announcement of our defeat? Citizens of Mayaditch, I stand before you today so that we may share in a moment of triumph. For years, the Mayarchy have lurked in the shadows of this city, their acts of defiance tainting the greatness that we have all achieved together. Today, that defiance finally came to an end. Today, we entered the home of the Mayarchy and eradicated their kind. Our efforts today would not have been possible without every single one of you. The blood you provide ensures that we remain ever capable of facing these threats. For that, you should all be proud. However, while today is very much a day of celebration, it should also act as a reminder. Rebellion, resistance, defiance, these are not the paths to freedom. They are merely the path to death. Anyone who wishes to be free of this life should instead look to Seraphina. Follow in her footsteps. Enter the theater and survive. Do this, and freedom will be yours. As good as all of that sounds, I do have just a few issues with it. What is this? You stand here claiming the Mayarchy are dead, but I'm here to prove otherwise. For too long you have lorded yourself over these people. Today that comes to an end. Today, you die. You know, over the course of my life I have tasted more blood than you could ever imagine. The variety of flavors is incredible, and yet there's one taste that all others pale in comparison to. You see, there's nothing sweeter than the taste of hope, and you're full of it. I'm going to enjoy killing you. Now we're rapidly approaching the end of the quest, which of course ends in a boss fight. My first try ends very quickly. I just didn't have the prep ready. No combat potions, lesser food. I'm teleporting out. Try 2 goes a little bit better, but I still struggle with a couple of the mechanics and prayer flicking since I don't have prayer pots. At this point, I look up the boss, not wanting to spend too many resources on trial and error. Plus, even if you know the mechanics of a boss, you do still have to perform them. The third try goes pretty well. I'm getting mechanics down, prayer flicking, but I just kind of have too many mistakes and just okay food. Then the fourth attempt. I'm praying well, a couple of mistakes here and there, but I'm luring the guards into Rannis's little blasts, avoiding his other attacks, mostly. By the end, it's clear he doesn't stand a chance. Okay, we're good. We're good for 15. I think it's 15 seconds. 20 seconds? We're good for 20 seconds? It's easy. We're done. We're done. We're done. And hit. And come on, come on, come on, come on. Hit. Yes, there's the XP. Okay, we're golden. Yes. Let's fucking go. So, I guess this is the part where I say something. Well, for hundreds of years, the people of Mauritania have suffered under Lord Lorniel Dracan and his vampires. For too long, they've filled you with false hope, hope of freedom. All you have to do is follow Seraphina and you'll be free, or so they claim. Well, whoever Seraphina was, she is gone. There is no freedom in that theater, no hope, just lies. If freedom is truly what you want, there is another path. You see, the vampires are not as powerful as they'd have you believe. Rannis Dracan lies dead before you, killed by a mere human. If he can die, so can the rest. So now, I ask that you join us. Fight alongside the Myarchy, and together we will push back the darkness of Hallowed. Together, we will end the tyranny of the Dracan family. Together, we will bring hope to all of Mauritania. Myarchy prevail! So, with Rannis dead, we head back to give the good news.
Lord Dracan won't be pleased about this.
Oh, I'm counting on it.